Now, you saw those screenshots, right? Of like what I posted and all that stuff, like me going crazy. Well, it's time. It's time where I actually talk about my mental health in this series of when I got broken up and all this stuff, right? I save it for this part only. So welcome back to part 18. Thank you so much for clicking this video, and I hope you enjoy this. It's gonna be really sad, really like you'll really feel how I feel in this. And this is probably like my take like 6, something like that. So yeah, like the video for me, please. It really means a lot to me, and share this too, because this is, if anyone's going through drug related stuff, suicidal stuff, anything like that, this is the video and this is my story. So let's get started. So to recap part 17, Kat was still hanging out with my friends. I told my friends to stop because number 1, they're my ex, number 2, fuck her, number 3, it was bro code, and if you respect my our relationship, right, then you would respect my boundaries and my trust, you know what I mean? Then I didn't talk about Dylan in the last part because I didn't find anything really important. So I talked about Kat's ex volleyball teammates at Ridge, and basically it's one person, but they all agreed on the same thing. Basically what they say about her, the impressions and how she acted while she wasn't with me no more, and she, you know what I mean. And so school started for her, and people asked a lot, like asked about, oh, what happened with you and Jacob and all that stuff. What happened to y'all? And then each time when they ask, she either geeks out and gets mad and don't talk about it, or if she does talk about it, she makes a false claim about what I did. And basically, also last thing to recap of part 17, how school was for her after she did all this. After the one girl found out what I told y'all in the screenshots you saw last time, it basically kind of spread just a little. Basically, volleyball, then the girls in volleyball really spread it, and then people started, I don't know if they really bully her, like say some shit, because they were on my side and they saw like how dirty she did me and all that shit, because I did talked about it after what I've all said in this, right? This is after my drugs and all that shit, right? So let's get it started. Oh boy. Let's go back when she's broke up with me. I didn't do drugs at first. But I was a urge to. I was on my antidepressants again. This is what way beginning, like the first week, right? And also all my mental illnesses came out again, like my depression, anxiety, and psychosis. Those were the 3 I got diagnosed with when I went to the mental hospital my junior year. Yeah. So basically, you know, depression, anxiety, whatever like that, but psychosis, a lot of people don't know. Basically, it's just like a little cousin or a little sister of schizophrenia. Like, you'll see shadows, you'll hear voices, fucked up shit. Basically, you can't relate to reality. It's false reality, all that stuff. That's why a lot of things I had to make my own truth of all this, what she did to me, all this stuff. Basically, it was my mental health, right? My hair's really poofy. But anyway, second thing, a new mental illness came about. After like a week, then I started to do this. It basically came from, if you have anxiety, this actually, you could have this temporarily or like even long term. I had this for about 2.5 months, all these stuff, right? So depersonalization, derealization. I'll post something right here, basic explaining like what it is. Like how like it affects you, how, you know what I mean? Of all this stuff. what it does, because a lot of people don't know. But it's basically a mechanism to help your body just to reset, and because it's basically like a hard reset. Basically, I didn't know myself on my depersonalization side. I didn't know who I was. I looked in the mirror. I didn't know who I was. I started crying. I started freaking out, tried to pull my hair out. I tried to scratch my face. I tried to do everything, tried to snap out of it because I didn't recognize myself. I didn't know my name. I didn't feel like me. I didn't feel like who I was as a person in all my 18 years. I didn't feel like this at all. And then my derealization, my bad, side, I couldn't connect with reality. Like, I couldn't talk to any people. I was really scared of actually connecting with people. That's why if you were in this situation too, if you tried to talk to me, I just left you on R, or I just left you on deliver for like 2 months. I didn't talk to anyone because I didn't know how to. I always freaked out. I was like an anti like social person. You know what I mean? I just couldn't help it, because if I tried to, I would have an anxiety attack, and I would not. I would just go crazy. You know what I mean? And I tried to get help, but if I did, I would have anxiety attacks, like I told y'all. And also too, mania attacks, where like I just wrote shit. If I had a journal, in later parts, I would try to find the journal, and I was link it to this part and all that stuff. So basically, manic attacks, I basically got a pencil, just wrote on the wall. I wrote on paper. I wrote on the journal, basically telling like kill myself, please help me. I hear voices. They're coming for me. Why she do this to me? I see demons. I like my demons. Basically crazy ass psychotic shit I wrote down. It's basically like a horror movie, just like it, right? Like, I drew people, I drew my demons, I drew all that stuff, right? And so that was my manic attacks with my derealization, depersonalization, and also I couldn't talk to no one. I couldn't talk. I didn't have no emotions, only sadness. I had no thoughts, just basically a body without an ego, or basically the screenshot you saw in the first like couple seconds is basically what this portrays, right? Portrays, my bad. Or no soul, right? And also I was going really for real crazy, like what you saw in all those screenshots. It's not screenshots, it's just what I did and documented and all that stuff, and the shit I experienced. So I got prescribed of anti-anxiety pills, but in the next point you'll realize that I abused them a lot, because this is when I started using drugs heavily, 24/7 basically. Now this is where shit hit the fan, and yeah. Each time I try to record this, I always get emotional or rant and all that stuff, so hopefully this works. So, last thing, drugs, my schedule, how it was, I OD'd. Very, like, it was the worst death, like, I literally almost died of this, and my graduation. Then I stopped my drugs. So, to start off, I got addicted. I relapsed on painkillers again. Like I told you in junior year, one of my first drugs ever I did, instead of, you guys either drink or alcohol and all that stuff, right? With me, it was painkillers. Like, I just took off. I was like, fuck this. I want something like big. I don't know. It was a stupid decision. I don't know why. I don't know why I did my first drugs, but really it took a toll on me, and the reason why I did this. So I started relapsing on painkillers. I only did 4 drugs, right? I did oxycodone, which oxys, no perks. People have a assumption in stigma saying, oh, perks and oxys are the same, but it's really not. Oxys and hydrocodone are really similar. Also too, I did hydros too. That's one of my first drugs I did. Literally my first drug I did was hydros. So I did oxys, I did hydros, I did codeine pills, and I did lean, which I got addicted again. All those, right? Even while I was still trying to get back with Kat, I was all the screenshots you saw during the summer of me trying to get with her, you know what I mean? I was a type where, like, at first I would be high as fuck, right? And then it started to be like, oh, like, I actually need this for survival, right? So I could function, right? I just need like a week, right? And I didn't like up my dose until later on when shit hit the fan, and when I heard that she cheated on me with Dylan and all that stuff, and she did all this stuff, and then Dylan came into it, and then she said, people like you don't change and all that stuff. So that's when I heavily did my drugs too. And so, but she didn't know this at all. I don't even think she still knows to this day. If you're watching this, Cat, yeah, yeah, this is what you did to me. So, but I can still function, right? Like, I'll be high as fuck, right? It's just like a stoner, right? They'll be high, but they can still function, you know what I mean? Like with me, like sometimes I couldn't function. I would just sleep. I would either pass the fuck out. I would either be on cloud nine. I would do some stupid ass shit. I would stumble. I would trip on myself. I would fall down. Whatever, right? Typical painkiller stuff, right? And so it made my mental health worse. So I heard voices more. I heard, you know, all this stuff with my psychosis, depression, anxiety, all that stuff. It was like I was so low that I needed a high to be kind of like myself. Remember, I had DP and DR, which is depersonalization, derealization, which is on to my next point, my schedule. I was taking my meds, didn't eat, and then later on I'll actually, like hour by hour, but I'm just trying to get through this, right? So I took my meds, my anxiety pills, I did my painkillers, I didn't eat at all, I didn't drink at all, I didn't go out. I would just be in my room, high, just because of meds. Like, I couldn't function. All I did was sleep, because I was in a tranquilized mood where, like, literally, if I wasn't tranquilized, I would literally be in a manic attack. I would be in depressive mood. I would be anxieties, attacks left and right, and all that stuff. So that's why, like I told you guys earlier, that I did abuse my anxiety pills. Keep in mind, I don't condone any type of use of substance abuse. I didn't condone any of that. I don't condone any drugs. Like, just be you. You don't need drugs, right? If you're in this path of drugs, all this stuff, I really advise you to listen to Juice WRLD's new album that just released. He really talks about it. And yeah, basically that's how I felt. Really, all he's saying, like, oh, I know I'm doing bad stuff, but I can't happen, like all this stuff, right? I heavily related to Juice WRLD's new album, how he cried for help but no one's listening and all that stuff. And so after, I just stayed in my room. Either I stayed in my room, just slept. I either sleep, stare at the wall, or went to the living room, try to watch TV, try to eat, but sometimes I'll throw it up and all that stuff, or my appetite, like I'll get full of a small fry, and that'll be like literally my meal. And so either those things, or I be on the couch just staring at the ceiling, just without no body, no ego, no nothing. Like, I couldn't control my thoughts, my consciousness in that fact. So when I woke up in the morning or late at night, I would have mental breakdowns, basically like anxiety attacks, and also my parents saw this too. Like I remember when y'all guys saw the when Kat said, "Oh, I don't care, it was meth and all that stuff." When she said that, I immediately had an anxiety attack, and I went to my dad, and I was like this. I was literally shaking just like this. I was like this. Basically, I couldn't. I was stuttering a lot. I was crying. I couldn't control it. And my dad just hold me and just said, Jacob, calm down and all that stuff. Well, that's when I had my anxiety attacks. That's when it kind of started getting really fucking bad. That's when I think day after she'd said that, that's when I got prescribed. And so money went low. And so I didn't start because lean, it's so fucking expensive. Like, remember I told you guys, like, oh, those $500, that $600 I saved up because of Victoria's Secret, Texas to Brazil, all that stuff would come. Well, this is the reason why I bought all this stuff. Also, I had extra cash because I did my chores and all this stuff. So I bought lean, I bought a pint, I bought yeah, I bought oxys, I bought a bunch of bulk shit. Right, that's how I got all this stuff. But after my money started getting low, I started abusing my anxiety pills. Basically, kind of had the same effects, but it kind of didn't, but it made me feel numb, basically. It's called hydrozine, something like that. Hydrosomine, right? Prozine, something like, I don't know. You'll probably figure it out, right? It's some type of anxiety pill. So each time I don't have my drugs, I always feel this type of way of mental breakdown, anxiety attacks. Didn't feel like depersonalization, really depersonalization, derealization, psychosis. That's really what it is. And underneath there, it was depression, anxiety, right? And so, yeah, that's how. And so, before I do my two last points, this is how I was. So I slept. I literally sleep probably like 20 hours a day, and the 4 hours, like it depends. Either I'll wake up in the morning, wake up in the middle of day, or wake up in the evening, right? It depends, right? Because I'm on meds, I'm on drugs, I'm on all this stuff, right? And so I remember because I tried to go to Whataburger because and this is the reason why I didn't go out. I didn't try to drive. I didn't do all this stuff and all that stuff, right? And so I tried to drove to Whataburger, which I did, and then I went in, and I remember I had this like psychosis, right? I literally saw myself with Kat because me and Kat like to go out to eat a lot. Basically, Whataburger. We have Whataburger dates a lot. We usually like either after band rehearsal or after school, or I think one time we skipped like lunch, something like that. I picked her up from lunch, and then I took her to go Whataburger and then come back and all that stuff. I only did it one time, but what I remember, still to this day, it kind of hurts, but it's whatever, right? I'm past it, but I remember she I think I either picked her up or she trips at me. I was on acid, right? And so I picked her up, or we snuck out of my apartment and went to go to Whataburger. It was like 2 a.m., something like that. And literally, I saw myself literally there. I think I have the video of it, or she had the video of it. I remember she had the video of it, but she deleted it, all that shit. And yeah, I saw that, and I saw multiple of me's with her each occasion, each time I was in Whataburger, and then I literally had a mental breakdown. Literally, when I was getting my food and went out, right? I ran out of it, went to the car and literally bawled out, and I literally, to that day, I was driving. I was like, should I suicide myself and just swerve out, right? So, sorry, that's a little rant, but continuing on to those schedule, I either wake up either 20 hours or 22 hours sleep, either wake up in the morning, afternoon or evening. Then I took my meds again. I tried to eat. I tried, be a normal human being, like watching TV, try to, all this stuff, right? And then afterwards, I just stayed high, like for a month straight. But I felt my mental health, like of depression, anxiety, psychosis, depersonalization, derealization, I went through that for 3 months. But my drug use, I did that for a month straight. I did painkillers all day, every day, for 30 days straight. Even my anxiety pills and my depression pills, right? So this is when it, yeah, you almost lost me, like literally this after. Let me just get through this. I repeated this cycle, right? I told you throughout late August. Remember, she did this July 18th, and I did this all the way until week after my graduation. So August 18th, August, something between the 15th and the 22nd, something like that, right? That was my last week of doing drugs, and I will tell you why. Late August, after my graduation, like a couple days after, is when I just said fuck it. I started I mixed all my painkillers together. I did lean. I think I did a deuce of lean, which call it deuce, mud, whatever. I did 10 milligrams of oxys, 10 milligrams of hydros, and then codeine, I think 5 milligrams, something like that. I just did it all together, right? And then it was my worst suicidal attempt that I ever did. My bad, guys. Like, I'm having flashbacks of this, and like it was like literally the worst. So I took it. I felt all the high I want. Like, I was the highest person. Like, I felt like even not acid, no DMT, no anything could have felt like this. This type of high, like numb pain, like a painkiller feeling, right? And then like an hour later, something like that, I blacked out, just like that, and I saw white and black. That's all I saw, right? I don't know how. I think I went to a coma, I think, for a couple of hours. And then I went back to reality, right? And then when I woke up, I was lost of breath. I was literally anxiety attack. I was shaking. I was having cold chills. I had everything like that, right? I didn't tell this to my parents to this day, right? I still haven't told my parents at all about this. And so, literally, I almost died. After that, I looked up like Oding of like painkillers, all of it, right? And yeah, I literally had a OD experience where, and then it says severe, you know how it says like severe and all that stuff, right? Where I was literally all the topics of severe, like I need to go to the doctor right now, which I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. That was fucking stupid of me. Literally, I could have died if I didn't went to the hospital. I don't know how the fuck I'm still alive to this day. But after that, like, I don't want to get into too detail because I almost cried right then and there. But yeah, like, I saw black and white. Like, I literally saw I literally saw me and myself, like disappear. You know what I mean? I saw like my consciousness leave my body. I was in my consciousness thought. I saw my body leaving, and then I was going higher, 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 and then I come back to reality, and then I did that, and then and so I didn't want to tell my parents. So all I said was I was having a mental breakdown, all the anxiety pills and all that stuff. Not anxiety pills, but anxiety attacks and all that stuff. So I told them that, and basically just calm me down and all that stuff. Right? I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't do anything. No one knows this stuff. Except for a couple people, I only told this, right? And after that, to that day, I sold all my drugs, all my painkillers, and I didn't do painkillers at all to this day. Yeah, I had like in the winter, last winter, I did my little lean, you know what I mean? But like I didn't like relapse. I kind of relapsed when I just only for like a couple days. It was Tylenol 3, which has acetaminophen and codeine in it. And I took that when I was in college, but that's way later on. This was like August, right? And so yeah, after that, like literally I stayed sober, and yeah, I didn't do no drugs after that because I was really scared. I didn't do no weed, no alcohol, no nothing like that. The first time I actually did drugs was winter break. You know what I mean? Like New Year's when I took my first shot since like like a year. You know what I mean? Something like that. I don't drink, right? I don't consider drinking like a shot, something like that, right? But yeah, that's literally it of how my summer was and my drug experience. And I'll detail this when depersonalization, depersonalization when you don't see yourself, like, you know what I mean? Derealization is like when you see a third POV of yourself. Like, I'm making this video now, but like I see my window, I'll look out the window seeing me in this chair with my phone camera recording this. I'll see that, like a third person view, and like an out of body experience, something like that, just so like y'all know. But the first screenshots, couple screenshots in the video of this video will really like I will show you like it. But yeah, that's really it for part 18. Sorry guys, this was a really like heart-breaking, like heavy video, but it had to be made. And I'll kind of cover it in part 19 again of like what I was pursuing, but then drugs, and then this relationship happened and all that stuff, right? So yeah, thank you guys so much, guys, for watching this video. If you get this far, I really like, if you get this far, I love you, like for real. If you're a guy or girl, I love you, like for real. Like, you're my real supporters. Like, no matter what you do, take this as an inspiration and all that stuff, right? Like, if you're my friend, be blessed that I'm still with you guys. You know what I mean? Like, that's my worst suicidal attempt at all. Like, through cutting, like, the scar right here was the deepest cut I made. Bleed for like an hour straight, something like that. I lost a lot of blood, but that wasn't even like, I would say that's like top 5, something like that. But this is number 1. Like, I seriously, I don't know. It's a miracle, right? How I'm still alive. But yeah, if you made it this far, drop a like, share this video, please. You know, that YouTube shit, like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna edit this so much because this is raw footage, and you know what I mean? This is just a documentary of this whole situation, what Kat put me in through. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Share this to everyone you know that you don't know, that people who know me don't know me, and hear stuff here and there. Especially this video. Share this video with everyone. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this, and I'll see you guys in part 19. So thank you guys so much. Love you guys, and peace, much love, and take care of yourself, and see you guys in the next